and it
bro.
took me a long
Yeah.
time to understand that that's what they need to do. And that's just in like watching the evolution of games as it's happened outside of the Pokemon world. Things that have succeeded have done so because they commit. Mario is as successful as it is because it commits to being modernized every single time. 3D especially, like the main line, if we want to call it that.
Totally.
Mario
If Pokemon
reinvents Mario every time.
If Pokemon wants to go another 30 years, right?
They
If
need
they
to
want to
be
make it to
Mario.
their 60th year anniversary, they need to actually focus on quality
Yes.
over quantity.
Yo, welcome to Directly to You. It's episode 12. I am AJ of Redirect. I am joined by DustyGogoat. He has his own YouTube channel. You should go check it out. But he also has a podcast called Hidden Power Podcast that you should also check out. I've been on it a couple times. Hey, put me back on it. I have more thoughts.
Yes, we gotta have you back on.
Yeah.
I'm looking for my. I was gonna like. I love the way you introduced me just there. I was trying to like look around for some HP merch. Yeah, dude. What's going on?
Like, comment, subscribe, everyone.
I'm excited to talk about some Pokemon today.
Yes, he's here because there's Pokemon things that have happened. There's, that's a calm way to say it.
That's my new role on this podcast. I am the Pokemon correspondent.
Yeah. You're the Pokemon community correspondent for sure. Because like I can't. The thing is like for Wolf Den, I'm the Pokemon guy. So like I can't in good conscience call you the Pokemon guy because I am a Pokemon guy.
That's true.
I'm just not in. I'm not in the weeds with you guys.
I'm the Pokemon guest.
Yeah. You're the Pokemon community surrogate. Like,
I can't just be the guy. I'm him. I'm him.
You are him. But I'm just saying, you speak to the community way more than I do because I'm more of a Pokemon. I'm a Pokemon community antagonist. I'm like,
sure. I think I might feel. I am that as well. I think
I'm the Pokemon anti-hero because ultimately,
sure.
My vision of the world is what everybody wants, but the Pokemon community is resisting.
No, I get you. But I'm the resident PokeTuber.
Yes, absolutely.
There's the delineation.
100%.
Okay. Wonderful.
So, Pokemon Worlds. My question to you: how much do you care about talking about the event itself? Because I was going to say we could go in and say like, yeah, they did tournaments and stuff, and these people won, and yada yada yada.
I don't think I paid enough attention to the actual event this year.
Okay.
I was looking forward to going this year. I felt a lot of FOMO last year, but this year just happened to be kind of just not the best year financially to be spending money on a Pokemon trip. Next year though is the plan. And they actually announced something at this event where there's going to be next year in 2026 during the World Tournament or the World Championship Tournament event. It's going to be in a stadium, but there's also going to be this like other thing, this other like fair alongside it that like I think is going to be kind of like a Disney World type thing, right? I think they're like, anyways, I'm just next year's going to be hype.
Yeah. I agree. I was kind of like iffy on it before we knew any of that kind of stuff. I just was like, I don't want to go to San Francisco. Like,
bro, last time I went,
I was down when they said
went down
Anaheim.
some wrong alleyways. Yeah.
I was down when they said Anaheim, and we talked about it, like, with my friend Lee and also Trev. We were like, yo, we got to grind, unite. We got to like qualify.
Dude, I was
be sick.
I just remembered I was supposed to see you at too many games.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, rip. So I'm not lying. Like I haven't gone to any of these events
I know.
Except for PAX because it's in Boston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so that's the
Anyways,
thing.
We're getting off topic.
We had the same life. It's just different event because like too many games is like an hour away from me.
Exactly.
So it's like that's easy.
Yeah.
And I didn't even go the whole time. I just went one day. But anyway, off topic. Anyway, Pokemon Worlds happened. People won and people played Pokemon and it was great. But we're primarily, it's a Nintendo channel. We talk about video games here. So I want to
For
focus
real.
on the video game announcements since I got the passive go ahead from Dusty to ignore everything else. Um, so
Yes, dude.
um,
I'm all for it. I'm like, what do the people want to hear? They want to hear the announcements. They want to hear the breakdown. They want to hear about like discussion. So let's just cut to the chase, dude.
let's just do it. So I want to call your attention to earlier this year. There was a prediction that I made that Pokemon Champions would be basically Pokemon's take on Pokemon Showdown. That was confirmed like a couple months ago. We already knew that to be true.
Yeah.
The second confirmation happened during Worlds, and that's that at least for next year, bare minimum, they're using Pokemon Champions as the official VGC video game for Pokemon Worlds 2026.
Yeah.
That
was kind of yeah, I feel like that was kind of, I think a lot of people assumed that was going to be the case, but it was still a big question. And I wasn't even surprised when they did announce it. Like when that was confirmed, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I really didn't think it was a shoo-in. Like I thought a lot of people were just being generous with their confident predictions.
People fought me. I remember because I said this, and it wasn't even like that. Was like when there's some things that I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm still iffy on exactly how like Gen 10 will happen. You know, like I think that there will be changes
in relation to champions.
Yeah. I'm just not confident. I'm not as confident with the champions thing. I was like 100% this game exists to be the new VGC home. Like that's why it exists. And there's some people still with a little bit of copium where it's like, I don't know, man, Gen 10 still not out yet, so maybe that's just this year and then they're going to change it. I don't know if I buy that. I think that this is the new forever home for VGC. At least for official things.
I almost want to push back on that even because I'm like, are we getting too ahead of ourselves?
We could be maybe, but that's what I was told a couple months ago when I said even this was going to happen. So
yeah, that's true. No, totally. I'm not. Listen, I don't want to take that away from you. Last night I kind of had I never thought of this. So Pokemon Champions is a Game Freak title, right? In the past, the way it normally would work, the competitive circuit would take place. I'm going to use X and Y as an example. It's a Gen 6 game. Pokemon X and Y came out. That's where everyone's playing VGC. They're playing their double battles. They're getting their rank points. And then after a time, when the new Game Freak game would come out, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which is like a Hoenn game. There's new Megas now. There's new Pokemon, etc. Right? Now that's where the new VGC takes place. Yes. And I think it's very easy for us to look at Pokemon Champions, and this is I to your credit, like it makes sense. Like it is a kind of a successor to Stadium or Battle Revolution or whatever, right? But I was thinking about it last night and I'm like, it really could just be another, like this is just another Game Freak game, right? So it could just be a thing where this season VGC is going to take place in Pokemon Champions, and this is the big asterisk. Like this is the big question that I have no idea. The Generation 10 could either be the same type of battles, turn-based battles that we've seen for the last 30 years. Yeah. Right. And also for your listeners, this is the next year, 2026, is the 30th year anniversary of the franchise, which the Pokemon community has been hyping up. It feels like this is a big deal. Also, the next title is going to be the start of the 10th generation. So you get all these like superlatives or whatever you want to call them, like kind of lining up, and it feels like, okay, the Pokemon company is going to want to make a big deal about this. Just that's some added context. They made a big deal about the 20th anniversary as well.
And it's also worth noting that they usually try to do that. Like it's not like it's coming out of nowhere. Like it's not like 30 years is a bit. Like I think that the Nintendo
I've been yapping about it for 3-4 years, and so I feel a little silly. I'm like, okay, well, how much do they really care?
It's fair,
but they have made a big deal about it.
They care. Because there's like people try to make corporations care, like Earthbound or whatever. It's like, man, a big Earthbound anniversary,
like,
and it's like they don't care, you know. Like you might get like a special edition calendar this year or something, but like Pokemon,
but the deep cut fans,
they're
asking for like a Souls like Earthbound game. It's like, bro,
it's like, but Pokemon has shown that they're like, all right, it's been 25 years, let's reinvent the series in this way, you know.
Absolutely,
let's do Sun and Moon, you know. That like for Pokemon 20, that's what they did. They were like, all right, we're reinventing the trainer's journey now on the 20th anniversary.
Yes, dude. And they took some pretty big swings with like regional forms were added to the game, right? There was also, I think Sun and Moon also had a big emphasis on like the actual playable experience of the game, had a big emphasis on like celebrating what came before it. Yeah. Right.
It was also proto open world Pokemon. It's proto open world Pokemon. Like even
absolutely.
Like there's a lot of talk where people will say like, oh yeah, the last island is like it's teasing at an open world kind of thing, and it's like even and playing it now, the whole game's like that. Like all the routes are like kind of designed where like they want to be open. Yeah. But that's more of a technical flaw. That's like
But once you unlock it, it literally is open world.
Right.
But anyways, to go back to I wanted to jump in to give more context because I forgot. I don't know, just whatever. For the Kirby heads out there. So like basically Champions is gonna be the 2026 VGC format. That's like where the competitive will take place. But there's two possibilities. Generation 10, this is like your Scarlet and Violet, your Sword and Shield, right? Sun and Moon. That Gen 10 game could be exactly what it's always been before when it comes to competition and the actual battle system. That's what we're talking about. Or it could be a complete change up of the battle system. And truthfully,
and this is what
I'm playing devil's advocate, I'm with you, AJ. I am with you, AJ. I think that is kind of what's going to happen. Like I'm playing devil's advocate,
and then
that would mean Champions is what's going to happen forever.
Right. And I'll also say that I think when people hear me say stuff like that, they immediately think that like the only way to do it is like, oh, it goes from turn-based to like action, and that's the only way to change it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Ideally, yeah, that's how I feel. But I don't think like when I say that, it's not like when I say that in a video and I'm like, this needs to change for the community, for gaming, period, for the franchise. I don't mean like it has to materialize in the way that would be perfect to me. I just
you're just describing a scenario,
everybody
example
for everybody, but the hardest core of Pokemon fans, it would be preferable for Pokemon to evolve in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
And whether that means that it is a turn-based game still, but it has like an Expedition 33 kind of evolution, or it has a Legends EA kind of Nino Kuni, Xenoblade Chronicles kind of play style. Either way, it needs to change, and it needs to be something that for various reasons is just more fun to actively play. And I think that the way that a lot of hardcore Pokemon fans are talking about it is like talking about it within their understanding of what an esport looks like. That's the main esport to them, right? And they're like, well, how is this going to be marketable as VGC? But if you look at esports as a vertical in the sphere of not just gaming but entertainment, the esports that do the best are the ones that people can look at and they understand what's happening and they understand how it's happening. It's League of Legends. It's not like, oh, well, kids know how to play Pokemon, you know, like it's just going and scrolling through menus and stuff like that.
Can you give me some examples of esports? Because I was not even thinking about League of Legends.
So like the biggest esports, I would say, are like League of Legends, Fortnite, Call of Duty for a time, Halo.
Those count?
Yeah. That's like what built the vertical.
Call of Duty counts?
Yeah, Call of Duty is an esport. Absolutely, yeah.
Damn, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, and even like Smash Brothers is an esport, you know?
Okay. So it really can be any sort of competition.
Yeah, it's just any game, because at the end of the day, it's like an esport is whatever the community on like secondarily, but like as far as like the major ones that a game studio says like this is a competitive game that has competitive merit, and they build an ecosystem around that.
Yeah.
I'm just in the background. I want to pull up like factually the biggest esports. Just to,
sure. No. I was curious about it. You know, it's funny that like you're talking about how like in your community, the Nintendo space, everyone's saying you're like out of your mind. Because I'm kind of saying the opposite in my Pokemon space, and everyone's calling and saying I'm out of my mind.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like I was saying, Champions was not going to be about VGC because I thought Pokemon doesn't care about the VGC community is like literally the smallest percentage of a Pokemon niche.
Yes.
Like there's such a small amount of players.
So we're not
like,
saying
no
the opposite. We're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing.
No, yeah. So originally my idea was Champions is not going to be for VGC. Obviously I was wrong. But now I've like anyways, I think it's funny that like in the context of you having a foot in the Pokemon space and understanding what would make Pokemon good in the Nintendo space, people are like, what are you talking about?
And to be clear,
I'm saying the opposite, but it's like flagrant for my space.
To be clear, we're getting pushback from the same people. Like the Nintendo community is not telling me I'm crazy. The Nintendo community is like, yes, that's why you'll see you'll see people like Will Wolf be like, I only will consider a Pokemon game good once AJ tells me it's good because my vision for Pokemon games aligns with gamers more than
Did you tell him that Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were good?
Absolutely not,
because he loves that.
I did not.
He loves that.
Yeah. But I can see why. But yeah, that's what it is. It's like like once I put my stamp on it, like, yep, this is the one. Come back in, everybody. You know, like that's why. It's because how I feel about the game is like not defined by the fact that I'm a fan of the gameplay of Pokemon. It's just that I care about the world, and he knows that I also care about game design and knows what a good game looks and feels like. But
which I gotta be honest with you, no one in the Pokemon space knows or cares about.
They don't, because they don't play games. They don't. They play Pokemon and that's it.
And that was because I'm coming from that. Just to be clear, I'm coming from that same background where I don't play that many games. Like I will play games. I play games, but like I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh, that Yu-Gi-Oh game where you can play all the classic duels, right, with all the classic decks.
Yeah, like, Legacy of the
that's
Duels.
Super
we talked
fun.
about this.
Yeah, exactly. So much fun. I'll play the Zelda games, right? I'll play random things here and there. Like I'll pick them up. It's good,
right?
But so I'm coming from that same mindset. But so something I was thinking about today was like, again, I guess maybe we're jumping all around. I don't know if you want to like reground us.
I'll jump
the
back.
Announcements were.
I'll jump back because we're still in Champions. We didn't even move on to that.
Yeah, but I'm ready to jump to Gen 10 now. I don't know.
So I want to talk about the announcements, and then we could talk about Gen 10 at the end.
Okay.
Because like
that's good. I like that.
The announcements for the most part is like that. You know, it's all part of the plan. You know, it's like step by step. But I do want to go back and follow through on what I said about naming the biggest esports. Right now, the biggest esports by attendance, like viewership and stuff like that. It's Mobile Legends. I've never heard of that. It's Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, League of Legends.
What?
Counter-Strike.
What are these in China?
Probably, or Korea. But this is just worldwide. It's just that's a big enough market.
Okay,
like
that's why I haven't heard about it. It's not in New Hampshire.
Yeah, League of Legends is number 2. Counter-Strike, PUBG Mobile, Valorant, Arena of Valor, PUBG Battlegrounds again, the main game, Fortnite, Honor of Kings, Free Fire, and then like from there it's like more of the ones that you've heard of, like Apex Legends, Dota 2,
and I have heard
Rainbow Six Siege,
I have heard of these,
Street Fighter, Call of Duty. You know, it's like, and let me see how far down I have to go down to the list, like down the list to find Pokemon
before you see Pokemon.
Yeah. I think last time
it's
I
not even
checked,
on the list, dude.
It's not on the top 20. It's not. Matter of fact, I have to pay to see how far down it is. But last time I checked, it was like number 30 for like the most popular intellectual property in the world, in the history of entertainment, which is abysmal.
For real.
You know, and there's a reason for that. It's not because nobody's playing the game. It's because people don't see it as a game worth playing competitively. And obviously,
and
the
so
Pokemon
I was talking about this
does,
earlier,
but
you
know.
But I think they're wrong. I think they're just like I think people like VGC because that happens to be the format.
Right.
Yeah, literally. And I'm like, that's not bad. I love Pokemon, and I I'm looking at a video of this new Legend ZA trailer, and there's a Jimmy Seer, and I'm like, guess what? It exists in the world. I got a soft spot for it, whether I like it or not. Right? There's lots of things in Pokemon that I settle for, because I appreciate the world, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm a fan, like
exactly.
I'm a Star Wars fan. You get used to Jar Jar Binks.
You get what you get.
You know, you get what you get, right? So I can appreciate that, but I do think, and I've been talking to some friends who have been like kind of educating me. Yeah, you're one of them about these competitive. You know, AJ, you said something recently. I think it was on stream with Jake when we were talking about like what we wanted. It was like this topic.
Yeah, and
you guys were like, no, Pokemon games shouldn't. You guys were like, I don't want to be sweating after every single Pokemon battle, and that was in reference to like the idea of every Pokemon battle being like
Pokken, like a fighting game.
Yeah, like Pokemon tournament. Yeah, literally. Yeah. And I had never thought of it like that, because as someone who doesn't play those fighting games, I don't know that they're literally like you're on your toes, the seat, like the edge of your seat, for those 5 minutes that you're battling. That's not how it looks to me. To me, it's just like, oh, things are running around on the screen.
I think a lot of Pokemon fans do. Like, I think that's how, like, they look at that and they're like, I would be stressed after something like that. And that's what it is. Like, there's no in between. It's like even though it's a delta between something like Pokken Tournament or a more traditional fighting game, you know, and Pokemon Legend ZA even, they don't see it like that. They're like, this isn't turn-based, so this is that. It might as well be Elden Ring, because it's not turn-based anymore, you know? Yeah. And there was even that tweet that popped off that I don't believe, as somebody that has talked to Nintendo reps plenty of times in my lifetime. But they were like, somebody was like asking the person, allegedly, again, according to the tweet, like how they felt about the demo, and they were like, have you ever played a game that's similar to this? And then they said no. And then allegedly the Nintendo rep said, have you ever played Elden Ring? It's kind of like that. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that for multiple reasons. But that's definitely not true. You know,
that's crazy.
It's insane. Yeah. Like, if I were to compare it to anything just based off of what I've seen, I would compare it to like Ni no Kuni. But like Elden Ring is ridiculous. Like, and I'm sure that comparison will happen a lot with Pokemon fans, because they don't play anything and they know that it will be physically more difficult to play than scrolling through a menu and saying that one, you know? So like,
but I also have faith that these games won't be like truly difficult to play. I think there's going to be a learning curve, like and dude, that's another thing, right? It's another symptom of like people who don't play anything other than Pokemon. Again, nothing wrong with this, but like if you don't play any other, like every Pokemon game plays the same, and there's also no requirement of reaction time.
Right.
So with any new game that I pick up, you have to learn the controls. It's it's a game.
Yeah.
It's like picking up a board game and you're like, what are the rules? Let's spend a half hour arguing over what the rules are. So like, that's just part of the experience of a new game. So I think that's something that I think Pokemon fans take for granted. And then like, listen, I'm not trying to turn this into like a, let's complain about my people type of thing, but yeah, but anyways, yeah. So to set this up, I guess, so I'm looking at, so during Worlds last night,
at the time of recording,
they announced a new trailer for Legend ZA, and this is cool and this is relevant. And they showed off a co-op mode, like an online.
So it's not co-op mode. So it's not co-op.
Or co-op's the wrong word.
What we know so far. It's more of
it's not co-op.
It's like a battle royale,
but it's online.
Yeah. It's an online multiplayer battle royale competition thing.
Thank you.
And
no, I appreciate that, because I'm. The correction, because I'm not. I only play Pokemon games.
Yeah, so it almost
use the wrong word.
It gives me vibes of like a PvE like battle royale game, because like the ultimate goal is to like defeat the most Pokemon, and you're one of the like something that will count towards that number is you beating other humans. Like there's like this discourse online of like, well, you're not really playing together. It's like, no, you are. Like it's just like doing like if you remember in Sun and Moon, and I'm literally on this part of the game right now, it's like doing a battle royale. Like that's what it is. It's like I don't want you to win, so I'm gonna knock you out so you can't knock them out, and then I'll knock them out. You know, like that's what it is. It's like doing a death match in a shooting game.
Yeah. And I guess what I was thinking about is like So yeah, the new ZA trailer comes out. They show off, not co-op, but like basically you can fight against your friends, right? Mm-hmm. And that feels relevant because then right after this, then they announced, hey, the classic, turn-based Pokemon battles that you love are going to be hosted on Champions in 2026. Mm-hmm. And then
and another important wrinkle to that is they also said that Mega Dragonite is being added to the game.
Yes,
and
that is pretty cool.
I think the fact that they highlighted that in that way, what it says to me is that going forward, and hey, maybe this is a crazy prediction, going forward, there will be similar situations where it's like, hey, new game, and like for Gen 10, the battle system is different in these ways or whatever, right? And don't worry, you'll still be able to use them the old school way. We're adding the Gen 10 Pokedex to Champions, and the VGC tournament, that'll be in Champions. But here's the other part of this prediction that I think is bigger or whatever. There's a lot of people, and even like I watched a little bit of I think this was just in the stream, but it might have been part of a podcast or something. I don't know. But I heard Lumi saying that he thinks that like maybe something like what is it? ZA would be like a side event kind of thing. And I think in reality, VGC will end up being the side event. And maybe, and that's like, I said that in your chat where it's like, I think that like Champions is like in their head even, maybe a third pillar, like what Nintendo said. I don't, because I know you're like a more of a Pokemon guy than you are a Nintendo guy, so I don't know if if you fully understood this reference. But when the Nintendo DS was coming out, Nintendo so Satoru Iwata was like, the Nintendo DS is a third pillar, and that was their way of saying like, don't worry, Game Boy, we know that's a big business and that's always successful and stuff like that. We're trying this new thing. It has the capacity to fail. But even if it does fail, it doesn't matter because we still have Game Boy Advance. I think that's how they'll position whatever the new battle system is. And
I totally agree because, I totally agree because like they do that constantly. Like 5 years ago, and the numbers might be wrong, Pokemon Go wasn't at Worlds. There wasn't a competitive bracket for Pokemon Go. Pokemon Unite wasn't there. And both these games are at Worlds now. People compete in order to, win money. They're on. They
become Pokemon World champions. They literally get all the same,
just like
perks.
Anyone else.
Yeah.
I'm expecting next year, and they didn't announce this, and they could announce this. Pokemon TCG Pocket could be introduced. They could create a new bracket. And that becomes like a world championship tournament. And they could also, what you're saying, just like they did the last 5 years, introduce that Generation 10, that whatever that new battle system would be.
If it is,
they could introduce that as a secondary thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's not harmful to VGC at all.
But here's the thing. It is. It is harmful in the way that a lot of VGC fans are looking at it. Because I don't think that it's going to be like, hey guys, because they don't do this with Go VGC's or with Unite, or like they just present them as different verticals, right? And the main event is whatever has the most viewership. I think that they're going to be like, Gen 10, it's a new thing, right? And whatever they call it, I don't know what they call it. But at the time, that is just, this is a Gen 10 battle system or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that year, because there's historical value, there's like past year viewership and stuff like that, maybe the main event for that year is VGC in the way that we know it. But I could very easily see the next year be like the main event is now the new, like whatever the new battle system is, that is VGC in the sense that it's the main thing that we think about when we think of Pokemon video game championships.
Yeah.
Because Unite is a Pokemon video game championship. But they don't call it VGC, because it's Pokemon Unite.
Yeah.
But I think whatever becomes the biggest Pokemon video game, they're going to name it whatever it needs to be named, and that's going to become the new main event.
Bro, you're right. The Pokemon Champions bracket.
Yeah.
They just like that way if you're competing in VGC, you're competing in the video game champions bracket.
Exactly.
But Gen 10 is VGC. So something I was thinking about, I kind of went down a rabbit hole just right now, and I'm thinking about like, okay, let's say Gen 10 comes out and it's some sort of hybrid, turn-based system. It's still pretty passive. It still, appeals to, existing Pokemon fans, right?
Right.
But it's this new battle system. And let's say it gets adopted. And then I was like, oh, but what if it doesn't do well? And then I was like, well, I guess they could always just in Gen 11, which sounds funny to say,
change it.
They could just, they could change it and be like, guess what? Turn-based battles are returning. They wouldn't say we screwed up, but they'd say we screwed up. And that would...
It's no different than the gimmicks that they do. Like,
that would be no different than them.
People didn't like Dynamax.
The quality of Scarlet and Violet for the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
They did admit that the game didn't perform well.
I mean, the game performed.
It sold well.
Yeah,
it sold well.
Yeah, it sold phenomenally.
Technically, it didn't technically perform well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My point is, Pokemon is so big; it can do whatever it wants.
It can literally do whatever it wants.
And I think there's like, again, I don't know too much about esports and stuff, but I do think, I think regular people. That's maybe where I want to ground this conversation. Yes. Right. Regular Pokemon fans, right? People who buy a couple pack of cards here and there. People who play Pokemon Go. People who watch the anime with their children or something. People who appreciate Pokemon from afar and maybe have a Switch. I feel like those people don't look at the Pokemon games and are like excited. They don't feel empowered. Yeah, they're not like looking at Pokemon games thinking this is cutting edge. And no one's doing that.
I think that's funny, and I know that this wasn't like what you're trying to do. Sure. But like people will look at that Pokemon fan, right, where it's like they're a Pokemon fan, they like Pokemon or whatever, right? And they don't play the games, and they'll look at them as they're not like hardcore Pokemon fans. But those people,
that's where the money comes from.
That's what I say. Those people are liable to have $5,000 worth of Pokemon plush, and have all the Pokemon shirts and all the Pokemon movies, and all that stuff, and they just don't play the games because the games are bad. As far as like from the grand scheme of gaming, they will never win a a Game of the Year award that is not at a Pokemon outlet ever.
And you know what they're not watching? They're not watching the World Championships in Anaheim.
Exactly.
They're not sitting and watch.
Which is something that Pokemon Company doesn't want, right? Like they think, like a lot of
they want people to watch
exactly. That. A lot of these fans are like, well, they're not watching it anyway, and in their heads that justifies Pokemon just keep doing what the people that go to Worlds currently want them to do, and it's like no. We want to win them over. We want them to come to Worlds. We want them to watch the esport. We're like, it's cool or whatever that you like what we've done, but we want all of the fans to be excited about what we're doing,
Imagine going to Worlds, like the Pokemon World Championship in Anaheim, or we'll say San Francisco in 2026, and there also happens to be like a Lakers game going on. And it's like a championship Lakers game. I think the Lakers are in California, right?
Yeah. They're at the.
Did I get that right? All right.
It's not the Staples Center anymore. It's the crypto arena.
But you know what I'm saying?
That's not in Anaheim. That's I know what you're saying.
You go to like whatever the Super Bowl, right? Is also happening, and you have front row seats because you love Pokemon and you're there to celebrate the best of the best in the esports, right? Like that would be exciting, and I feel like. I don't follow football, but I watch the Super Bowl.
Right.
And you know what? I only watch the Pokemon World Championships because I cover it on my podcast. Yeah. And because there's news at the end of the event, which is strategic to get people to.
That's where I'm at. I don't even watch.
I never thought about that. That's what the trailer's there. Because the trailer's there to get people to watch.
Me personally, and this is not the case for the majority of Pokemon fans. I'm not representative of the majority of Pokemon fans either in a lot of ways. But for me, it's like I don't even watch. I used to watch like the top 8 or whatever of like VGC, but I stopped doing it because it just makes me mad. It just makes me mad because the way they talk about VGC and like the reality of what VGC literally is like so different. It's like they're like, look at the diversity in these teams, and there's 12 total Pokemon in 8 different teams. It's like there's no diversity in this at all.
Where's Go-Goat, Scizor? There's so many cool Pokemon.
It's like somebody posting a picture of a group of white dudes and be like, man, it's so diverse. And the only thing that's different is like one has glasses.
He's from Wisconsin. And one's wearing he's from Boston. He's from California. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, yo, he has different health items. And this one's a special attacker, not a physical attacker. It's like, yo, shut up. Like, those are the same Pokemon. Their mama all named them Fluttermane or Incineroar, it's like
yo chill bro chill Dude, you don't get it, dude. I have brown hair, and my buddy Tom has blonde hair, and my other dude's got red hair. Relax, all
It's
right?
funny because like Mega Man in the chat. I was literally having this conversation with him last week where I was like, it's fun because, and this isn't even to say that like something like Smash Brothers is perfect in this way, but like if you hear them, and this again, big reason why I stopped watching these tournaments. If you hear them talk about like Pokemon representation in the tournament, it's like, this is crazy. This Pokemon is like this like off meta threat. It's only on 12% of teams. And I'm like, somebody that's a Smash fan, and I'm sure you hear this through the grapevine. The Smash scene is crumbling over Steve, and Steve is like 6% of the player base. 6%. That's the highest. That's the highest concentration of a character in the video game that has 80 characters. 80.
That's crazy,
right? And but there's Pokemon, a
like
video game.
50% of teams.
Yeah, 50% of teams in a game that has
Landorus
600 potential characters in the video game, and 50% of teams has 1 out of 600 possible Pokemon. And you mean to tell me like you could win with any Pokemon? No, you cannot. You can factually not win with any Pokemon in a game. You can't.
You know what? I would put your point stands, because I think I do think though, for the best of the best, you can actually get creative enough to create something that specifically counters whatever is in the meta,
right?
Then that's how you get a Pachirisu situation,
exactly.
Right?
But that's the thing.
We've seen that in the past.
That's the thing, right? With Pokemon, it's like you can build a hyper meta team to justify the use of one off meta Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
But in something like Smash Brothers, when you see, you'll see it all the time, where it's like, oh, this character top 8'd a major or won a tournament, like a Little Mac or whatever, right? And it's not because they're like, oh, this Little Mac won a tournament, but they secondary Steve, you know, like that's how Pokemon works. It's like, oh man, it's crazy that somebody brought their favorite Pokemon Zubat all the way to the championships, and the rest of their team was Raging Bolt, and like that's what it is. It's like the majority of their team either way is hyper meta. Them being like, I have this one off meta Pokemon does not mean that you can win with any Pokemon. It's that you can use any Pokemon you want as long as the majority of your team is meta, which is a different thing.
It still has to work. Yeah, that's true. No, that's fair. Did you watch much of the
I didn't watch the tournament itself. No, I just watched. Okay. So I watched matches here and there, just in the background, and like my friend Lee, like he watches. So like we'll be in the Discord and he'll be streaming it, and I'll again be passively watching it. I couldn't tell you anything about what happened. Like, I don't even remember the guy's name that won. I know more about who won Unite than I know about who won VGC.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about, like, I don't know. Like, are other esports, do they function or are they covered in the same way that, like, sports is covered throughout the season?
So what do you mean by that?
I'm imagining, like, I don't know, like who,
like they track stats and like average, like
no. Yeah, kind of. So like Giovanni was like the new champion, and I'm like, this is my first time hearing about him as a person who's not in on VGC. I'm sure the VGC community in Pokemon,
they probably know who he is.
Yeah, they probably knew. You know, it's his first time winning, but like I'm sure they saw him on the rise.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm like, is that something that could be worked in? Is that something that could help bolster the notoriety, or I guess like the hype, maybe?
Me personally, as
VGC,
as somebody that knows a lot about VGC and has in the past followed it to learn thy enemy. I don't think so. I don't think that they're like people talk about like VGC being small and stuff like that, and it being like as if it's an exposure thing. It's like if people just knew this existed, people know it exists.
No,
like they just don't want to play the game like that. You know,
it's not exciting, man.
Yeah,
it's like you can tell someone about something, but it's like you're not going to get them to want it, to buy it, unless it's like something that they can feel inside their soul, you know.
Even to this day, I'll say something to like Colton, who I'm playing Pokemon, like the Pokemon games in order with at this point. And I'll be like, yo, so once we get to this game, I'll probably EV train my Pokemon. He's like, I don't want to do it. Like literally, like X and Y, I was like, oh, we got to try the super training just to be able to highlight it for the eventual video. And he was like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, Fair, it's fair. Like it's a lot easier than you think it is, and like when you think about it as a casual fan, but it's still more than what you want to do because it's not fun. It's not. It's just not.
Bro, I'm with you. I've done it, and I've done a lot of it. I've built competitive teams within the game. I've never used PK Hex. I've never done anything like that. Not that I'm against it, but I'm just saying, like,
right.
I've played the correct way to make competitive teams to battle my friends. I've done it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I haven't done it in a couple years now. I'm not interested in relearning. I'm sure I could figure it out. I have not done it in Scarlet and Violet. I have no interest in it. I probably won't do it in Gen 10 either.
It's very fast and it's very easy, but it's not worth doing because again, it's not fun. Like I think that more people would do it if like the act of actually battling was fun. Like I think a lot of people think of it like that, where they're like, oh, if it was just like Pokemon Showdown, you could just like input the numbers and stuff. Like again, something like Pokemon Showdown is not a mystery to people. Casuals know what Pokemon Showdown is, but Pokemon battling is not fun enough to want to do that for normal people. It's just not.
I literally that's crazy hearing you say this because I had not considered this. I was on a walk this morning and I literally thought to myself, Are Pokemon battles fun? Like,
no.
Do I even like the battle? I was like, when has my niece, who's my reference point, she's 8 years old. I'm like, when has she ever said, "Hey, do you want to battle?" Never. She says, "Hey, let's go in each other's like games in Scarlet and Violet. Let's trade. Let's capture Pokemon. Let's look at our Pokemon together." Even my nephew, if you wanted to play the gender card, even my nephew who knows every single Pokemon, it's shocking. He knows Varoom. Like it's insane. He doesn't even want to battle me.
Because it's not.
Why
fun.
are the kids? The kids don't want to battle.
Because it's not
Pokemon.
Fun. It's not fun.
And it's fun for me because I know the inner workings because I've been in this world for 25 years.
The thing is, like, it's also like, fun for you because it's also fun for you because like your reference point for fun is different. Like their reference point for fun started and like games like Mario 64 existed, it's like Pokemon is like fun and like exciting for people that like Mario 64 blew their minds, but kids now they're bored by the concept of Mario 64. And I think so many people think of games from that mindset of like, man, when I was a kid, I couldn't even wrap my head around Mario 64. How are kids ever going to wrap their heads around something that's not a turn-based RPG for a competitive Pokemon experience? It's like what you're thinking about it in reverse, because like in reality, Pokemon is more foreign to them than you think it is. Like it's way harder to teach a child and even a grown adult. If I don't know how much you paid attention to it, because a guilty pleasure of mine is I love watching VGC when it's through the eyes of people that don't know what's going on. That's the only time VGC is fun. And so Point Crow did a VGC tournament where he did cool. He had a bunch of creators do Nuzlocks, and then they did a VGC style tournament with that Nuzlocke, with their Nuzlocke teams, and that's always fun because they pick offbeat options and it's not like the same Pokemon and they don't have the same movesets and all this other kind of stuff, right? And like that's why it's fun to watch, because it's like you optimize the little fun that does exist in Pokemon when you're trying to be good at it, because it's numbers at the end of the day. Like you're just trying to be the bigger number. So like that's what it's like with Pokemon. The bulk of people that play the game don't really understand it anyway. So like, even if it's a thing where the like in this theoretical world where kids that are first playing Pokemon for the first time ever get confused by 3D gaming and they don't know what to do with a right analog stick, right? It's like the learning curve is the same. Like the first Pokemon game I ever played, I didn't know how to read. I was 4.
Dude, same.
But
charcoal was like a cool word for me.
I still got through the game. You know what I mean?
Facade.
So imagine how much easier it will be for a kid that the way that they interface with the game is like they pick up the controller, they move a stick, they press a button, and something immediately happens on the screen, and they can understand what's happening on the screen. And Pokemon as a kid, again, that of the 90s that played it for the first time ever when I was 4, I couldn't just be like, okay, what do I do here? How do I switch my Pokemon? because there's no like immediate visual feedback of you press button, thing happens on screen. You have to at least have the ability to be like, oh, I scrolled over to this word, I pressed this word, I went to this other word, I pressed that word, and then I pressed another word, and then the Pokemon appeared on the screen. Word. You know, as a kid, again, I wanted Charmander. And I was playing this game when I've told this story before. I don't know if you've heard it, but as a kid, I loved Charmander. My favorite Pokemon is Charizard.
Unapologetically a Charizard stan.
Because again, kid of the '90s, he was the cool one.
A little basic, but cool. I respect it.
Again, kid of the '90s, he was cool. I liked him because he's cool. I'm not trying to be hipster Pokemon fan here. I don't think it's impressive. I don't think it's cool. I don't think you're cool if your favorite Pokemon's like Lurantis or whatever. You don't get bonus points. I don't care. But dude, yeah,
Lurantis is nice.
I mean, Lurantis is cool. I love plenty of Pokemon. And I'm just not a person that has favorites generally. I think that having favorites in the first place is a very like juvenile thing. Yeah. So like it makes sense to me that it just is.
You're right. It's like that's a good point. It's like no. Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, so my favorite Pokemon was Charizard, and I was playing Pokemon Yellow, right? And I'm like, I already had 6 Pokemon. I had like 2 Butterfrees on my team and whatever the heck else, right?
Of course.
And it was just like, I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I wanted Charizard. My neighbor, whose name is Mulan, who used to be my neighbor. I don't know what she's doing now. This was, again, 20 plus years ago. Shout out to Mulan. yeah. But she had a Charmander, and she wanted my Pikachu because she was playing Pokemon Red. And I was like, I don't care about Pikachu. I like Charizard. She has Charmander. So I traded her my Pikachu
kinda cool.
for Charmander, and my mom got angry at me because my mom, again, as a 4-year-old, I wasn't playing this game really. My mom was playing it. So it was her team, realistically, right? So I'm like, she's like, why'd you trade the Pikachu? That was our Pikachu. And I was like, because I wanted Charmander. And she was like, we had a Charmander was in the box, but I can't read, so I didn't know that, you know? And it was like this whole thing where she made me trade it back. Pikachu didn't follow you anymore because once you trade it out, it doesn't follow you anymore.
That's kind of cool though. That's a nice story. I like that story.
But yeah, a kid that's playing Pokemon now, or like ZA, when they're playing Pokemon for the first time ever, so much of it is visual feedback. Even that story that I just told, it's so much easier for them to go to the box because like you can pull up your pause menu or whatever. You see a Pokeball, you see it's like, oh, there's buttons that I press. Oh, I see more Pokemon on the screen, and they're pictures. It's not like reading text. It's a picture of a Pokemon that I recognize. I want that one. I press buttons until I can move it over, and that, you know, and that's what it is with like actually playing the game. It's like, oh, how do I do flamethrower? In the video game, I have to know what like how to spell and read flamethrower. Yes. But when I'm playing it on Pokemon ZA or a different action-based game or whatever, I press a button, flamethrower happens. You know?
Yeah, bro.
Like that's actually more approachable to kids. Like people that are RPG fans and are bad at video games and they're trying to retroactively justify that by saying that, oh, well, think of the children. It's like, that's not what it is. You're just bad at games. That's fine.
Dude, they want it both ways. They're like, think about the children, but they're also like, Pokemon sucks because it's not for me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have both ways, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's kind of crazy. So something else I was thinking about today was like how I don't know if it's too early to go to Generation 10, but
we can talk about Generation 10
whatever that new
now.
system might be.
The only other thing that there was is Pokemon Unite. You play any Pokemon Unite? I play Pokemon Unite.
I don't.
I play it.
That's true.
I'm looking forward to Empoleon. He's cool. He's cool.
Yeah, he did look good. I
like Empoleon. I don't care about any of the other Pokemon. It was Delmise.
Delmise was kind of cool.
See, and that's the thing. Here's the thing. As a Pokemon fan, if I told you that my favorite Pokemon was Delmise, nerds in the Pokemon community would be like, that's so cool that your Pokemon is actually something that people don't like. And that's cool that you like something that's ugly. You get bonus points, you know?
What I noticed was like Delmise used its anchor, like it used the anatomy of its body.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like part of its attack. I thought that was kind of cool.
So that's something I think is really cool about Unite, and also coincidentally action-based games. But yeah, we could talk about Gen 10 now.
No, that's true. No, I don't want to. I honestly wasn't even thinking about it, but you're right. We got like Mega Evolutions are coming to the TCG. That's kind of hype. Those cards look sick, and we also got Megas coming to TCG Pocket, which is also pretty sick.
Pretty cool.
Have you played TCG Pocket at all?
Yes, but it's just it's the opposite of what I thought it was going to be for me. Where it's like,
what do you think it was?
I thought
like?
I wasn't going to care about collecting the cards because I just don't really usually care about that sort of thing. But I literally just play it to get the cards. Yeah. It's like I'll like play it and I'll be like, yo, what's the coolest card in this run?
Sure.
And then I'll be like, I want that one, and then I'll like play the game until I get that one, and I'm like, all right, next season, you know. It's like, and that's where I'm at. I'm like, all right, cool, I can't wait for this next one because it's Mega Evolution, so that probably mean I get a Charizard, and that's the next thing I'm gonna grind for. Because like last season it was Lugia, and it always makes me mad because I always get the one that everybody else wants. It's like I was like, yo, I want that full art Lugia before he even had art. I was like, I just like Lugia, I want him. And then I
want a Dialga for a steel deck, and I literally still don't have it.
I got you. I have multiple. But I don't even understand how trading works. Again, that's how little I actually play the game. But you know,
I think it's fun. I've been doing a lot of battling.
I think it's pretty fun. It's just it's fun. Yeah. But
just I wanted to bring it up because I was kind of I feel like I just like bulldozed this entire conversation.
You're all good. You're on the show for
because
a reason.
I forgot some people play other Pokemon things.
I guarantee you most of the people that are listening to this do not care about most of the other Pokemon stuff either. That's why I was fine with like us not like hyper fixating on champions, because I think at the end of the day, champions is what it is. I do but one more thing about champions. It's a larger
conversation though, you know?
Yeah, because that, I mean, especially again here, like a lot of people that are watching here are here, especially if they're Pokemon fans, they're here because I said one day 7 years ago, yo, it would be sick if or longer even. Some people are here since the first video, because I said one day, yo, it'd be sick if Pokemon was like this, you know? So it makes sense to like steer the conversation with that as the driving force. But I do want to say, as far as champions is concerned, because there was a lot of questions about this leading up to it, we do now know more about the payment structure, and that there is like the game is free to start, quote unquote, and then there's a paid version. We still don't know what either of those things mean. So TBD on whether or not paying for the game, like what it does for you, you know? So
AJ, did you, I want to like interject with like a possible rumor / leak. Did you ever see that?
I don't look at leaks. I don't look at leaks at all, but,
okay. It just had it got one thing right, and then detailed a bunch of basically features for champions.
Okay. Did it get so here's the thing. What did it get right? Because I got multiple
victory points.
Right. Okay. That's pretty specific.
Specifically said victory points.
That's pretty specific.
Right? And then at the end it said you know, created by Woodhawker.
That's funny.
No, I'm just kidding. It took me too long to get the joke out.
Yeah. I don't know.
Animal Crossing community in shambles.
I usually the thing that's funny about that is like that's just one of those rumors that like I talked about the Animal Crossing thing because I talked about it with Sierra, but for me it's like it was never about the rumor. It was just more about I know that's going to happen eventually, and that's why I personally do not buy into the rumors unless they're, and even then I just don't usually look at them. Sure. But like if it's something like, yo, a new Animal Crossing game is going to happen. No, duh. You know, like, no, duh.
No, it was specifications for champions. No, I'm with you.
No, I hear you.
The rumors are fun for me, not because they say a Gen 10 game is coming out, but it's because it'll be like, here's 5 specific Pokemon that have 5 specific evolutions that have 5 specific like ride functionality or something, right? And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting, or like, here's a detailed outline of how I think a new Pokemon gimmick should, you know, be.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fun just for the theory crafting. I'm like, that's cool. This is probably fake, but I'm like, I like this as a wish list.
I think a lot of the thing that's funny to me is a lot of the times I get more right than those rumors, and I just say off rip. Sure. Like I feel like my channel would be so much bigger if I positioned every single video as like this is a leak, but instead I'm like, yo, this would be a cool idea. Yeah. This would be neat, and I'm very transparent about that. But I do recognize that I could have like 1 million subscribers right now if I just was, especially if I like double down into it now, which I still want to do that stream where we look back on that video that I sent you. or other, because there's multiple videos like that about so many different series that aren't even just Pokemon, of me saying, again, very specific things where it's like, yo, it'd be cool if Pokemon did this very specific thing, man. And they do literally that, usually in the way that I say that they should do it, you know, like literally in that video I say I think the battle system should be like Ni no Kuni. And I think ZA is very close to that, you know what I mean? For people that don't like rumors and stuff, skip ahead like, I don't know, 10 minutes just to be safe.
No, we don't need to talk about it. I wanted to bring it up. I'll if you're curious, I'll send it to you offline.
Yeah, you can send it to me.
But basically, I guess I'm still wondering like what it is that Champions is going to do that like makes it better than the mainline games. Actually, and I'm thinking about this in real time. Mm-hmm. It actually doesn't need to.
I was going to say, it literally doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to. Yeah. It's just a successor.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
The thing that makes it better than the mainline games is it's more agile than the mainline games. It's something that I literally just saw a video in my suggested that like I feel like everybody makes all the time, and it's an annoying video that's disingenuous in a lot of different ways. But it's like, Pokemon is pay to win. Because to be able to win, you need to have this one obscure Pokemon
I did see that
you need. There's a lot of them, so I don't even know if you specifically saw the one that I'm talking about.
No, I saw that today. I think I saw that,
so you might have saw the same one. But it's like, no, it's not. Because like by what you guys say, the Pokemon community, you can win with any Pokemon on one face, and the other part of it is like, at that point, if that's how we're breaking it down, every sport in existence is pay to win, all of them.
Yeah.
Literally every competitive thing, period, is pay to win. I gotta have TV, I gotta have internet, I gotta have access to the quote unquote developed world, you know, like all those things.
That is partially, I think that's, you could. Yeah. That is all real. I guess it gets ridiculous when the people who like aren't actually challenged by that are complaining about it.
Yeah,
I'm like, what do you
exactly?
You can't afford $70 for a game.
That's what I'm saying. And it's
if you can't, then go get a job.
It's the fact. Yeah, and I don't even want to do that necessarily. I mean, it's fair that you did it.
I mean, it's 70.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. But what
I guess it is a lot of money.
What I'm saying more so is like it's not insane for something like Pokemon to assume that the bulk of the people that are traveling to go to their events have played these games before. You know, it's like people these people specifically treat Pokemon games like they're lost media. And even if it is a 3DS game or whatever, it's not hard to find a game that sold 20 million copies. Like Pokemon, you're not priced out of Pokemon. You're just not like even like buying like Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver or whatever. Last time I checked, in box or whatever, it was like $50, which is more than what the game cost when it came out. But like at the end of the day, it's $50. It's $50. If you care about Pokemon that much to the point where it's like, I want a zero speed shiny Ho-Oh, and the only way to get that is if I specifically play this video game in this way. It's like, all right, bro, that's something that you don't need to play the game. That is like a luxury of something that you want to do to try to flex. So it's fair to be like, that costs money, and you got to do a little extra work.
That's the truth, man. I'm like, we love this stuff. Mm-hmm. You're gonna pay the price. This reminds me of like the Nintendo conversations. I'm like, all this conversation about like, is the Switch 2 worth it? I'm like, yeah. Like if you're gonna spend the money on it, it's worth it because it's a game. It's a toy. It's a game.
Yeah, and it's something
it's gonna be fun.
It's something that like.
What do you mean? Is it worth it?
If you don't think it's worth it, in retrospect, then I don't understand why you're playing Pokemon now. You know, like especially in the era where people are like, Pokemon used to be better, and it's like, okay, Pokemon. So you're saying Pokemon's better now, right? And then you're simultaneously saying that Pokemon is pay to win because you have to buy all the games that are older. But it's like, why don't you already own the older games? Because weren't they better? But you don't own them. That's kind of crazy. That's wild to me. Man. But that's a tangent.
Crazy.
Gen 10.
Yeah. I feel like we're having too much fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we're not even that far. We still got like 45 minutes. 45.
No, we're good. We're good. We still got like yeah, I feel like we've been all over the place, but this is how all of our conversations go.
Because there's so much. Like, it's so layered.
Here's the docket.
Yeah. It's so layered.
So Yeah, I guess that question's irrelevant now. Like, what does Champions have to do to make it different? I don't think it's got to do anything.
It doesn't have to do literally anything. The thing that it needed to do to be different is a logistical thing for them. Like it doesn't really have anything to do with the community, and that's why the game is not this whole big rollout. It's not this $70 thing. You know, it's like play it and you can play it for free. And if you don't want to pay it for free, then you got to jump through similar hoops that you would have anyway if you buy the game and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. Right.
So
it's them trying to make the game more approachable and accessible.
Yeah. It's funny. The word accessible is hilarious because I'm like, 26 million people have Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to play competitive, it's there. Like you can. It's literally built into the game.
It's just copium. It's copium. So many people think that, like, and specifically it's copium.
You did say this earlier.
The VGC community. Because like they're thinking in their head where it's like, well, you know, if only Pokemon didn't make you do this, and then they don't make you do that anymore, and it still doesn't really grow. Well, if only if it doesn't make you do this, and it doesn't do that, and it still doesn't grow. You know, the only thing that makes Pokemon grow is like when the game itself sells more, and even then it's marginal, right? It's like everybody wants to, and I've talked about this in the video that I made that had you guys in it, where it's like people want to talk about like VGC's growth and be like, yo, we're almost there, people, you know, they're learning about it, we're doing the work, we're getting the word out, you know. And it's like, no, you're not getting the word out. There's just 30 million people that bought this game. And the last time that you thought about VGC, 18 million people bought the game. So like, of course the event's going to grow, you know, of course it's going to go from 800 people to 2,000 people, you know, but that's not crazy growth. Like Smash Ultimate just less than a year ago had an event that had 4,000 people, and they had to go to Japan and pay out of their own pocket. You know, that wasn't an event that Pokemon Company flew them out to, you know? So I don't know, man. I think it's more like people just don't want to play the game in that way, and that's why it's not big. But this does make it a little easier for the people that do want to play the game in that way, and they very specifically can't afford a Nintendo console or a video game to play it through, or they don't want to play through the mainline story, or they don't want to EV train their Pokemon. So all those very specific people in that thing, let's see if that grows the community tenfold, because that's the way people talk about it, you know. But what's
damn, bro? I'm just thinking about it more. Yeah, I liked your story earlier because I'm thinking, for whatever reason, I'm thinking about it again, and I'm like, the only thing that gets people to play Pokemon or to battle to play Pokemon is the Pokemon themselves.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they give you. It could be the mainline Pokemon games where you're doing double battles. It could be collecting Pokemon like that, like show up at your campsite when you're sleeping. Like, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
We're here for the Pokemon themselves. And so now it's up to Game Freak and the Pokemon Company to like make a game that's actually like fun.
Yeah. Right.
We're gonna show up if like I'm gonna buy every new Pokemon game that comes out. Like I am that shill. I will glaze Pokemon until I die. Literally, dude. I love Pokemon. Like,
you buy Pokemon Friends?
RPGs. Dude, 100%.
I didn't buy Pokemon Friends.
I didn't get Pokemon Friends. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like, I will play Pokemon forever because I'm like, the games are my window into the world.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is for me. So I'm going to buy all the games.
I think worst case scenario, a lot of people are just like, Pokemon's going to leave me behind, you know? Worst case scenario, it's just going to flip. It's just going to be the people that are satisfied with what Pokemon has been for the last 30 years in the gameplay way are just going to be me, you know? Like, you're still going to play it. Yeah. And you're still going to pay attention.
100%.
And you're still going to, like, at the end of the day, be happy. Like, you know, I don't regret buying Pokemon Scarlet, even if I don't think, and for a different reason, even if I don't think the game is good, you know? Because it's still Pokemon. It's still the closest that I'm going to get to being able to experience the world that I think is good, you know? And that is something that exactly, that's how they get it right. They get that right every time, and that's all they actually need to get right. And I think there's so much proof that a lot of the hardcore fans just blatantly ignore, and that's to be charitable to them. The cynical side of me just wants to call them stupid. But like,
listen, I'm just being cynical right now. I've got no hate in my heart for any of these people. These are my co-hosts and my friends. I'm not trying to suck any fun.
Even me saying, I think that, and I'm not accusing anybody that we specifically know either, to be clear. But like
maybe like one person,
maybe one, but no, even when I say like they're stupid, I don't hate them. I just think they're not the smartest people in the world. But you know, I think that they're being obtuse or extremely self-centered to be charitable. When they say that the gameplay is what keeps people on board with Pokemon, because I think that there's a lot of proof both within and outside of Pokemon games that shows you that that's not the case. Because like, if people love Pokemon's gameplay and they hate everything else about the company, and they're like, oh, I don't want to support Nintendo, and like they're so, and Pokemon Company specifically is so extra with how they police the competitive scene, and like you can't hack in Pokemon and blah and all those things. Why is Nexomon not big? How come Temtem didn't do well? You know,
bro,
like Temtem is literally
the character design.
Exactly. It's the character design.
It's the world. It's a little bit of the nostalgia.
Yeah, but the nostalgia is that. Like, that's what it is. It's like, it's for the world and the characters and all of the things around the game that's not the game. Because if people love the game so much, like, even if they don't drop Pokemon, right? Like me, I love Smash Brothers because I love the gameplay. So you know what else I do and have done? I play Multiverses. I play Rivals of Aether. I play, you know, Brawlhalla, because I like the gameplay. So you would think that if people legitimately love the gameplay of Pokemon games, these Pokemon clones that have happened at all sizes in terms of like the size of the game developer would find any level of success, but they never do. No, they don't. They find
no, sorry. The Pokemon games find success.
Yeah, the Pokemon. So Pokemon games find success, but I mean like the Pokemon.
All these other games do not.
They do not find success. It's like even the most successful examples that we can think of, they have all these other They have all these other crazy asterisks where it's like Power World was successful, quote unquote, but it's
for a month.
But it's half the price. It only lasted a month. You can get it on
and
Game Pass.
It was on Pokemon.
It was on
Pokemon
sale
with this.
Yeah, it was on sale when it launched. It doesn't even have Pokemon gameplay. You know, like most of these games.
Yeah, it's like Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Most of these games are like wish fulfillment for Pokemon. So you would think that if people actually love the gameplay of Pokemon, the games that are like, yo, we're all the things that you want for Pokemon, except the game designs and the world and the characters and, you know, like, except for that. But we're everything else. You would think they succeed, but they don't, because that's not what people care about. People care about the world. So what Pokemon Company actually needs to do is make people want to play a game that is in that world. You know, it's like people already 100%. Buy them because they like the world, but they're not doing it because they want to play the game that they're given. The game is just what they have, and it's what they have. You know, it's like eating food in prison. You know, it's like, I gotta eat.
Can you really complain?
Yeah, like I gotta eat what I gotta eat. You know, I don't love this. Just because I eat it every day doesn't mean I like it. And
you know, all right. Here's a thought experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? I'm thinking about Wolf Glick. I'm thinking about all the VGC.
Yeah.
The famous VGC people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not even the famous ones, just the VGC people.
Yeah.
If Pokemon Champions does in fact, like I'm thinking of like a railroad, right? I'm thinking about a train, and the railroad basically has split in one direction now.
Yes.
And where the railroad, this is the VGC railroad. It's now been diverted to the left, and it's going towards Champions. And there's a new road now that can start, right? And that's the new, we don't even know what it is, Generation 10. I'm thinking about a theoretical Generation 10 new battle style system, right? And whatever. Do you think those VGC champions would experiment with the new game?
I think it's going to be very similar to Smash Brothers, and that's why I talked about that so much in that video. Where whenever a new Smash Brothers game comes out, every top player tries the next thing, and every time, the bulk of the Melee community specifically eventually falls off. you'll have some people, like you'll have your Hungry Box and your Mewtwo King, where like less so now. Mewtwo King is in that like he fell off kind of thing, where they stick to the game, but the majority of the Melee community goes back to Melee. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that especially like if we're putting names on it, like Wolfglick, I don't see him thriving in a new Pokemon.
I can see him making some content about a new.
Yeah, I can see him like trying it and like giving it a shot for a year, but I think he will ultimately drop it and focus on champions.
But that ends up being weird because it's like you're because I'm like I don't know, it's like completely different. I'm like, okay, you're the VGC guy, but now it's not the main thing anymore. Right.
But that's what I mean. That's what happens. That's what happened with Melee. And Melee still had, it still has a decent scene. Like they just had a tournament that had, I think it was like 2,000 entrants or something like that.
It's a lot for a GameCube game.
It's a lot. Yeah, they literally just had their biggest tournament ever. Melee, a game that came out 20 plus years ago. So like I think VGC will have a scene for sure. I just don't think it will be the biggest one because again, Smash is big. I mean, Ultimate's biggest tournament and the franchise ever. They had their biggest tournament a little over a year ago. I mean, a little under a year ago, and that had 4,000 people in it. So it's like I think that's what's going to happen. Where it's like VGC Pokemon Champions is going to be like, oh man, there's 3,000 entrants for this tournament, and then you'll see like, oh, Gen 10, there's 6,000. Like that's what I think is going to happen. I think that ultimately it'll be partially because it's the main game, but I think it'll mostly be because that's the thing that people want to play, and that's the thing that people want to watch. And there will be people that play and watch VGC for the nostalgia of it, but I think more people for the spectator sport that it is ultimately are going to gravitate towards something that is more suited to being a spectator sport, because even people that like know and understand VGC wouldn't, if they're being honest, wouldn't like describe VGC as being fun to watch. It's not fun to look at.
I've gotten a lot of pushback this last couple months. People are just saying like, VGC is super fun to watch, and I'm like, it's fun to watch if you know what's going on.
Exactly,
anything's fun to watch if you know what's going on.
Exactly.
I think it's fun to watch podcasts and be like, oh, I wouldn't do it this way. I wouldn't do it that way. Oh, I know what this is right here. They're going to an ad break. Like anything
but
is
it's
fun
not fun.
You know the intricacies.
Exactly.
I'm not like
it's not like monkey brain fun. That's how I describe the Donkey Kong thing. Because like people are like, oh well, I have fun doing this, and I've had this. I'm sure you've heard that on this podcast and earlier episodes where I'm like, yes, people like things that are not very clearly like fun, unambiguously fun for reasons that come around in a roundabout way to the way that we think about it being fun, right? Like it's kind of like what I had this debate with Bob a while ago on one of the streams where I'm like, shiny hunting, I think it was. Shiny hunting is not hard.
Dude.
And he's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, he says that it's hard because it takes a long time and it takes a lot of patience. And I'm like, yes, those things are hard. Having patience is hard. The time that you spend is hard.
Time is literally the most valuable resource in the world.
But the act of shiny hunting is not hard. You don't get to
leave it up to a computer.
Yeah, you don't get to attribute the difficulty of other things that are tangentially related to the thing that you're describing to the thing that you are describing. The act of playing the game is not fun. Strategy is fun. Team building is fun. All those things are fun. All of those things exist in something.
Some people would say that's too hard.
Some people would say it's too hard. But all of those things can exist in games that are fun in a way that is monkey brain fun,
Yeah. The monkey brain fun of shiny hunting is literally only when you get surprised by the shiny.
Yeah. Ooh, shiny thing. You know?
Shiny. Oh, yes. Chat. Shiny.
Exactly.
Shiny. Oh, we just got to. Oh, let's go.
Exactly.
Like, that's it.
Exactly.
And a lot of that's also like, I don't know. Like, that's,
Yeah.
To me, that's the same as like ripping packs.
Yeah. But again, like the act of like that
is fun.
Taking a pack out of the box and opening
it's the anticipation. It's the ritual. Yeah.
There's parts of it that are fun. Yes.
Forward the back. All right, flip it over.
But when I say, yo, I want a Pokemon game to be fun, I want all of those tangential things to be true, but I also want, when I press the button, for my brain to be happy that I pressed the button.
Bro,
as I'm pressing the button. Not because I have to think about like, oh yeah, that was fun because I outsmarted my opponent and my opponent did this and he thought that this was gonna happen and I thought this was gonna happen and I was the one that was right and I won and the bar went down and the Pokemon fell, you know, like not like that. I want to be able
to listen, this is where we split. Listeners, you're listening to the man right now. AJ's the same guy who said Legends Arceus wasn't fun.
It's not. It's not.
Dude, get out of here, dude. It's too much fun.
It's not. And see, but that's the thing. I think,
God, dude.
No, because here
ZA is gonna be a blast.
Here's what it is with ZA, right? To be clear, I didn't say that Arceus wasn't fun. I said I don't think Arceus is good because the only thing that fact check me. All this stuff.
These aren't semantics, guys. These are not semantics.
No, they're not. They're not because I explained the difference.
I know.
Like
I know. I'm just teasing.
Like the minute-to-minute gameplay of Arceus is fun, but it doesn't lead you anywhere. And that's my problem with Arceus. That's my issue. Where it's like, yes, they have the bare bones of it, and that's cool. And the problem that, for me, then became, once they made it a series, that it's like, okay, well, they're doing this very lackluster, tech demo-y kind of thing. This proof of concept thing that is cool in the moment, but once you spend 60 hours doing it, what's the point anymore, right?
Valid.
ZA kind of proved me wrong in the sense that they didn't do what most people thought they would do. They said, oh, okay, let's actually try to make a fuller game around the thing that is fun with this. So that's kind of what I mean. Like, it's not that like that Arceus isn't monkey brain fun. I think Arceus is very monkey brain fun, but that's all it is. And there's no meat on the bone beyond that. And there's no reason for doing that and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like, I don't know if you saw my Donkey Kong video, but the Donkey Kong Bonanza video that I made a couple weeks ago, that encapsulates my thoughts to a T on game design in general when it comes to this concept. Games should be fun. Games should be meaningful. They don't need to be one or the other. And it shouldn't be like this imbalance. Like, I think Pokemon games as they exist now, they're more meaningful than they are fun. And I think that they can be both. That's really what it is.
No, it's good.
Do we have any other Gen 10 specific thoughts?
I mean, a lot of what I've been thinking about when it comes to Gen 10 has been just in the last 24 hours has been in relation to champions in ZA. I think we covered most of it. I'm like planning a bunch of content around Gen 10. I was like ready to make a lot of Gen 10 content. And then I think I realized a lot of people are just like hyper focused on champions and ZA, which makes sense.
Right. Because we know literally nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess the other, and I just put out a little short on my video or on my channel. Literally, I think I published it like as I was logging on.
Nice.
But I was kind of playing with the idea. I don't even know how much I believe this. Like I'm really trying to just think about this in real time. A lot of people were saying champions. Okay, if VGC goes to champions, then Gen 10 they can do so much more. Like they can make a way better game because it'll be free from VGC and the competition. And that never really made sense to me because like one, I don't think the fact that there's an online play and an online application of the existing battle format, like I don't think that really takes resources away from like writing or development.
It doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? So like that part's irrelevant.
It's just because they don't understand how game development works. So like they want to find a scapegoat, and the scapegoat that they're looking for is not the one that they want. You know, it's like the scapegoat is the way that the game works. Like that's like the way that the game works and how it's designed and all that other stuff. That is the problem. That's why Pokemon games are not good. And I think that them not having to focus on VGC is helpful in a way, but it's not helpful in the way that people think it will be. And I think that the problem will still exist if the release cycle is still intact. I think that that's the core of it. And that's why for me, like that part of, and this is the part of it that's like, this is just what I want and what I think will be the most healthy thing. It's not necessarily what I think for sure will happen. That's why I say that Pokemon's model should be more GTA, MMO, one game per generation, build on that one game, because then they're able to focus on all of those things and build out from there. The thing that I diverge with the like, oh, they could make a better game, blah, blah, blah crowd is like, I don't think a better game necessarily means that it can't be a competitive one, because I think Splatoon is one of the best new IP that has happened in the last decade. And it's both. I would argue it's equally both, you know? And I think that Pokemon could very easily be that. And as somebody that is a fan of competitive gaming, and I do like and play single player games, often, you know, again, my favorite game of this year so far is Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is a single player game. But I recognize that games that have some sort of competitive merit usually means that there's more meat on the bone. There's more depth to the game, and that's why they're allowed to be competitive. So casual,
it's almost like you want to work backwards, you know? Like I feel like Splatoon, I've never played Splatoon, but I'm impressed by anytime I see footage, because it looks so, it's like a puzzle almost. Like the controls are like a puzzle. Like you affect the environment, which allows you to do stuff, which then again affects the environment, yada yada yada. And I'm like, if you build that, it's like I'm imagining if you build a really solid battle system, you can then apply it.
You can build
to
a good game around
experience.
that, exactly.
And Pokemon's problem,
which is what they did, but the battle system is not good, so the game feels like it's not good. It's like everybody has this complaint where it's like, oh, Pokemon's so easy, and it's like, because the battle system sucks. There's no separation. There's no competitive merit to the battle system, so it's not fun to engage with, and that is true whether it's competitive or not. You know,
no, totally. It's like what you're saying. I can picture it so clearly. Like I enjoy the overworld of a Pokemon game, and then it's like there's this clunky separation between that and the battle. Yeah. Right. And that's what makes and then that's just like a massive layer that makes everything feel so disjointed. Obviously, in Scarlet and Violet, there's a million other disjointed feelings. But all of that's gone in Legends ZA, which is promising. So I guess
hopefully
where I was getting,
I still have some reservations.
Hopefully, I don't know. The gameplay I've seen is really
I agree.
Promising.
Again, my problem, not the gameplay. Because again, my problem with Arceus was mostly not the gameplay. I think the agile and strong style stuff sucked. Which is part of why I think that the game's not good. Because
did you say it was like a tech demo?
Yes.
That sounds like something you would say. Yeah. I think that's.
I mean, I literally said that in this podcast episode. I said, it's like a tech demo. Yeah, it's like they threw some ideas at the wall, and none of them really stuck.
And it's a good idea.
Some of it are good ideas. Yeah. I think how they handled the Pokedex is a good idea. I think centering the game around that, bad idea. I think that the way that they handle catching Pokemon and like the ability to do stealth and that kind of thing, good idea. The thing that I think is a bad idea, and we'll probably see that again with ZA maybe, is I think that involving the trainer in that on a gameplay level is a bad idea. I think that is not a good idea. I think making them something that you have to worry about, and also the Pokemon something that you have to worry about, regardless of skill, is just not a good idea. It won't. I don't think it's going to mesh well. And I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think that the trainer, on a movement level, I like that, but having to worry about your trainer's health, I think, is a step too far, and it'll make the game less fun and feel cheesy in different ways. But we'll see.
I wonder. Yeah, that's true. I guess that does make sense, because in Arceus you can die.
That's part of why Arceus is not fun, and not fun, not good. Yeah, I think it's poorly designed. That's what makes it fun. I think the thing about Arceus is it's poorly designed in the sense that because you don't have to worry about your trainer and your Pokemon. The problem is when you're worrying about your trainer, which is for the parts that I think are poorly designed, other than the agile and the strong style, which is a separate thing that's poorly designed. I think that the way that the game is designed and executed, let's say, it feels like a early era 3D game where they didn't understand hitboxes yet. And they didn't understand invincibility frames, and they didn't understand how those two things.
This stuff's over my head.
Yeah.
So, I like I like that that there's a risk to the trainer, to me. And I remember like my earliest videos reviewing, right, Legends Arceus. One of the things that I remember like standing out to me was that like this was the first game where you're literally playing as the trainer. You're not just this like invisible or this like emotionless proxy for Pokemon battles. Like you are a character in the world, and you can duck, you can roll, you can craft, throw Pokeballs, like, and you can die. And I think that level of risk, I think just keeps me tapped into the game, which is so different from any other Pokemon game where literally I can put the controller down, walk away, I can go mow the lawn, I can come back. Nothing has changed in the battle. Right. You can't do that in Arceus. I remember doing that. I remember forgetting for the first like month, forgetting to just press pause. Right. Yeah. And I'd walk up to just like, oh, the microwave's beeping or whatever, right? Like the oven's on. Let me just shut that off. Let me go let someone in the house. And I come back and I'm dead and I've lost all my stuff on the ground. Right?
So like, the part of it that I don't like about it isn't that. Everything that you described, I think in theory is cool. It's not really the theory of it. It's the execution.
I think it wasn't theory. Like I think it was in practice.
No,
like,
I hear you.
You know?
No, I'm more so saying like the execution of when it didn't work. Like the boss battles, like in execution, when you didn't do very specific things or when you did specific things in the way that the game didn't expect, the execution was subpar. The fact that I can get hit once and die because the game didn't account for the fact that the animation for when you get hit and when you hit the ground would mean that I stand up and I can't move and avoid getting hit again. That in execution was bad. You know, and I think that there will be a lot of moments like that where, like, due to no fault of the player, they will lose because the game's design did not account for how punishing the design unintentionally is. Yeah. You know, and again, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in how they execute because I haven't played the game. I've just seen like impressions, and I've seen, and I just thinking about it and like theoretically of like, okay, what am I supposed to do with the camera? You know, like that could be a skill issue thing. Because again, everybody that I heard talk about the game in a negative way in terms of like how it played was a Pokemon fan. So I don't know if they understand how cameras should work.
There were some reviews that came out and we read them on the Hidden Power podcast, and it was pretty cool to like kind of dig into these reviews, the wrong term, preview.
Impressions. Yeah.
Or it was like I think Nintendo Life was one of the articles you read.
Yeah, I saw Nintendo.
Someone who had the demo
review. I saw their impression. To be clear, I trust Xeon. Xeon is he is somebody that plays video games in general. Yeah. So like his I saw his and I was like, yes. But the ones that I saw that were more negative were from like Pokemon Cast, super effective. Them. When they were like they literally said that I don't know what to do with the camera, like controlling the Pokemon and controlling the player.
I didn't even watch his review. I gotta check that out.
But yeah, I was watching that. I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But again, I didn't physically play it because it could just be a skill issue thing. And I'm not discarding that for being a possibility. I'm just thinking that like going into this before we saw anybody actually play the game, I just based off of my experience with Arceus, am not super confident with their execution of action games yet. Ultimately, that's where I want them to get to. But I just think, and I not even think, I know that Game Freak are not the most skillful game developers out there, and it takes them a few tries to master something.
I'll never disagree with that.
So that's what it is. It's just like I'm just hoping that the game doesn't feel clunky, because as somebody that plays action games, Arceus feels clunky. And like again, I think it's cool. I think like it's like it was like this cool thing to think about in the moment. And like, as I was playing the game, I was like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. But when I zoom out and I think about it as like, oh, this is the first game in a series now that, again, before any previews or anything like that, this is the first game in a series. And like, there's like, they're making sequels. And like, maybe again, if Pokemon fan speculation is more right than my speculation is, this is where my vision of Pokemon is like siloed to, you know, it's like the thing that you want Pokemon to be is trapped here. And what we have have had Pokemon be for the last 30 years is the actual main thing. You know, that is the way that I like contextualize it. But now it's a little different because like they have shown that they do understand that Arceus wasn't enough in a lot of different ways. And those are the ways that it feels like they're changing in this game. I just am not sold yet because I can't be until I play it myself. Yeah. I'm going to buy the game, but I'm just not sold that they nailed it until I play it. That's really where I'm at. Like, I don't doubt that they did it. I just can't say for sure that I think they did.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, speaking of these like tech demos, right? Like these attempts. So I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about a generation, like the generation 10 being the start, maybe the continuation, right? I think I've really liked during the Switch era that every single Pokemon game that has come out has felt, at least stylistically, and sometimes it's a failure at style, but like stylistically, every game has felt like a different attempt at something different. Right? Yeah. Even the two Legends titles, completely different. One is about exploration and capturing. One is about battling, right? That's, you know, they're so different, even the settings. So I don't know. I was just kind of imagining, I'm like, okay, well, if the standard competition is gutted from the mainline games and really all of the games, and that is now hosted on Champions. I'm thinking about maybe we are closer to this reality that I used to imagine 3 years ago, where it's like every other year they're giving us a glorified port. They're giving us a BDSP, right, style game where I'm like, sure. BDSP is not Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl aren't like masterpiece games, but it is a way for me to play Johto or Hoenn or whatever game, right, on my Nintendo Switch. That's kind of cool, right? Like, that's just one version of that. I'm thinking, basically the idea is, could Game Freak and could their new company, Pokemon Works, potentially put out, I'm hesitating because I'm like, not put out more games, like I'm asking for like 3 games a year, but I'm just saying, like, if Game Freak is just focusing on their mainline games, they're cooking up some Legends games, you get a third party to come in and make these more experimental games, but they're still all tied in. They all work with Pokemon Home. They all work with Pokemon Champions, right? Then I just feel like that frees up the company to be more experimental. So I'm for that. I'm wishfully hoping for that.
I think it's too late for something like that, personally. I think that the way that game development works at large is too hard for that to be realistic. Like, if we're on a console that they're thinking about, like, trying to, even if the game's not natively that, they're trying to make 4K video games. And it was already a lot of lift for them to make 1080p video games. So I think that the move is more so for them to, like, again, be Rockstar. Because even Rockstar, instead of being like,
sure, you've been saying this, dude. I see it.
Because the way that they're structured, it's like Rockstar, like, they're a massive company. They could make Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas 2, and Bully 2. Yeah. And, you know, like, they could do that. But instead of doing that, they spend 6 years working on one thing. And then they move on to the next thing, and they spend 6 years working on that one thing. And they have multiple companies in multiple parts of the world. Yeah. And I think that is, like, Pokemon will definitely be a bit more spread out than that, because Pokemon is a bigger brand in turn. Well, just in every way. But I don't think that they're going to, like, spread themselves so thin that they're making so many different versions of the same kind of thing. Like, I can't see them being like, here's Pokemon Let's Go, and Pokemon Legends, and Pokemon Remake, and you know, like, I think that it's probably going to be maybe.
It's not all in 1 year. I'm thinking like,
I know.
2 generations. I think here, like, I guess I'm suggesting. Literally, I'm suggesting, remakes. Yeah, here, make more remakes. Right. But I think what I'm also thinking about is like take the pixel art engine from Generation 5 and make a new game with that engine. I would imagine that's a much smaller lift if you already have all the assets in place. And I don't know how to game design, so maybe that's crazy.
I would say it's not, though. Like, I think that
it's not easy.
Yeah, no. Not to do it in the way that people want them to do it. Like 3D, a lot of the reason why they moved to 3D game design is because 3D game design is easier. Like in terms of like
Okay, I have heard
logistically,
this.
it's
Yeah.
easier to like make a 3D game because animating a 3D model is
Yeah.
infinitely easier than animating a sprite in terms of like doing it in a high quality way. And that's why they moved to it in the first place, where they're like, okay, this is like an investment in the future. That's why like the
Yeah.
models that they use are like models that they made in like 2012
Yeah.
because it was an investment in their future.
Yeah.
And I don't see them shying away from that. I don't think that if they do, and even if you look at the like the indie developers and the like people like and any level of indie that you think of, whether they be like these premium, like higher quality, like higher budget indies, like a Cuphead or whatever, right? Like they did this hand drawn, like hand animated thing, and it took them like 6 years to make it. It's not like people think that because it's an older way of designing something that it can be faster than what is new now, but that's not how creating things works. And a lot of different mediums. Like newer technologies are almost always going to be faster than older ones because you know, like hand-drawn animation is just factually it's going to take longer than flash animation, you know.
No,
like
that's fine. I guess I just look at like the world of Pokemon and I'm like, I think we lost something with the switch to 3D. I feel like, you know, everything has been streamlined and they've also struggled. It's like they took shortcuts, but then like have completely.
Well, I don't think they took a shortcut.
Moving, and they did with all like maybe not technically.
I don't think
I really don't know.
I don't think they did
all the
because
3D models, right?
Because the thing about the shift to 3D, it's not like they moved to 3D and that's like an easy transition. They never made a 3D game before, you know, like they have to learn how to do that. That's them trying to in the future, which will balloon the process in different ways. Like, okay, well, we don't want to have to develop our first ever 4K video game and also have to worry about all the time and work and energy that goes into making a pixel art game, you know? Like,
I think so maybe I'm focusing too much on like, I'm like almost assuming too much about the actual development. I guess what I'm really thinking about is how I feel like the last decade of Switch games, right, have both tried, every game has tried to do something different, which I appreciate, but also I think graphically and performance wise, there's been struggle that you're talking about.
Right. Which is true.
And I look at Legends EA and I go, I actually think that game looks really, really good. Obviously, it's not perfect. And I guess there's a little bit of me that yearns for, right? If we're going to enter this new era where now the standard competitive battling, which I feel like was holding the franchise back, can be separated into Pokemon Champions. We already have Pokemon Home. We've had that for 7 years, which is really cool, where you can just backlog and store your Pokemon.
Right.
I want Game Freak to keep leaning into that direction of like, here's a cool little experimental game. It is compatible with Home. You can play through the game. It's completely different than anything else you have ever done. You can transfer your Pokemon into Home, and it's just a short little RPG or whatever. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I understand. I think I would like that, but I would like it more when Pokemon's Mario. I think it's not Mario.
How is it not Mario already? I mean, it's the biggest company.
when Nintendo puts out a new Mario game, it's like this massive critically acclaimed thing, and people don't say like, "Oh man, this is the worst Mario game that ever happened." Every new big Mario game, even the small like Wonder, are like universally like people. I don't like Wonder.
No, I hear what you're saying.
But for the most part, people are like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever." That does not happen with Pokemon, and it has never happened with Pokemon ever.
Every time it comes out, every time a new Pokemon game comes out, people go, I love Pokemon, and this game's not very good.
Exactly.
That's like always the review. So I wish they did more.
And I think the thing, and going back and playing through other Pokemon games in the way that I have, Pokemon development has been a series of them pushing a boulder up a hill. And people think about pixel animation in hindsight. Now that the boulder is at the top of the mountain. You know, they got to Pokemon Black and White 2, and that was like them like showing off. They're like, we understand how to do this now, right? you're looking at Pokemon 3D game development as if it's Pokemon red, blue, red and green, even red and green. That's where they're at. They're at generation 1, or they're not at generation 1 anymore. But like that's where they started when they went into the 3D, and then it got shifted back a little bit more.
So like we're in Gen 3 of the 3D era.
That's how it is. It's like I would suggest, just in your free time, just to like have I think a more developed understanding of like how game development works. And it's not 1-to-1, but I think it's a good way to contextualize a lot of it. Play Game Dev Tycoon, because it contextualizes it in a very similar way. Whereas like when you're playing through the game, you start out and you unlock certain, it's on iOS and Mac and everything. It's on everything. It's by a company, I think
that's super
Greenheart
fun.
Games, I think it's called. But when you're making a game, you pick different aspects of the game, like what the game looks like and how the game sounds and all other stuff, right? When you start the game and you have 2D graphics version 1, and you can unlock 2D graphics version 2, right? And you can get to the point in the game where you unlock up to 2D graphics version, I think it's like 6, maybe 7. And there's a part when you get to in the history of game development where you unlock 3D graphics version 1. Right? In the moment, you'll probably be at like 2D graphics version 4 or 5, but it's a smarter idea usually. And I mean, it's a game, so like play it how you want to play it and see how it turns out for you. It's a smarter idea to make, as soon as you possibly can, your first 3D graphics game, because the 3D graphics have a higher ceiling. So you want to invest in, like, even if you're on version 1 of 3D graphics, when you reach version 5 of 2D graphics, the ceiling that's going to grow higher, and that's where they're at. They're at 3D graphics version 2 right now. And people are like, go back to version 5 and 2D graphics, you know? And it's like, why would we go back to 2D when the goal is to be at a higher ceiling? And that's what it is. It's like it's like people trying to like infantilize the multi-billion-dollar corporation and be like, yo, and like it's not all for the same reason, but it's ultimately what's happening. Being like, yo, go back to the thing that you used to do that I liked. And they don't want to do that, which is a good thing. They want to grow and do new things and be good at that. It is
cool that like, yeah, no, dude, totally. It is cool that ZA is literally in one city in Kalos, in this like fictional location, right?
Right.
And it also is just focusing on battling, you know? And I was thinking yesterday with the guys, like, they could double dip. They could go back to Kalos. Like, I guess I think I just got really bored of the conversation of like always predicting what's going to happen next, because it's like we get a new game, then we get a remake, then we get a new game, then we get a remake.
People don't make real predictions. People are just like, the same thing that's been happening is going to just happen again.
And Game Freak started to experiment. We got Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So weird.
Even
weirdest game ever.
Go is the literally the beginning of Pokemon Company experimenting. Go happened and they're like,
Then Sword and Shield, pretty cookie cutter, whatever. But then we got DLC.
Well, even Sword and Shield's not what Sword and Shield. I wouldn't say is cookie cutter. That was like them continuing on the trend of like trying to be open world. Like that was another.
That's true. With the and then BDSP's a weirdo title. That's like a whole new thing. Legends Arceus was weirdo at the time,
which is another step forward towards open world.
And ZA is a new step, but it's like. It is a completely different experience. So I'm like, what do I want for the future of Pokemon? I want them to like keep leaning into these weird experiences. And I think it's cool that ZA is completely devoid of any like sort of like battle system that exists in the mainline games. What do I want to see in Gen 10? Probably a progression of that. Not the ZA format for battle, but just like a new format of battling. And then it's like whatever game comes after that, if it's a it doesn't matter. If it's a remake, good, but make it different. I think I just want new fun experiences in the Pokemon games.
Yeah. I don't think that's what they're trying to do, to be clear.
Okay, sure.
I think they're continuing the progression. I think that they've always kind of had this like progression mindset. Like every game builds, and again, I'm like this is being solidified in my mind as I play through the games retroactively. Even when I experienced them as they came out, I kind of felt this way, but even more so now. I'm like, every Pokemon game taught them how to make video games. Like, and that's still how it's working. I think that ZA is like them trying to be like, all right, we've made these kind of games for so long, and we want to move towards doing something more ambitious and impressive. So let's learn how to do that, and then the next thing will be them building off of those learnings. And it might feel like in the moment like it's them trying to do something new and like wholly different, but I don't think that's what they want, or honestly what they need. I think that they would be bad at like actually making entirely new experiences every time. I think that what their strength is them being like making educated guesses. It's like, okay, people like this about the last thing that we did, so let's try that, you know? And it like, it didn't work as well as I hoped, and like even Scarlet and Violet, but they did it. They objectively did it. Like they did a lot of the things that they tried in previous Pokemon games from the generation. They just didn't go far enough. Like if they went full bore on like even with performance and all that kind of stuff, but if catching worked exactly how it works in Arceus, people would be talking about Scarlet and Violet differently, because Arceus doesn't run great either. But people love it because the minute to minute is fun. I think that that's kind of just what they need to do.
Dude, I just want to get my hands on this thing.
Same. I genuinely think pumped. As long as they don't drop the ball in the ways that I think they dropped the ball in Arceus, it could be my favorite Pokemon game. Because
I think it's almost thinking there. The real-time combat's crazy.
I was thinking for a long time that Arceus would be my favorite Pokemon game. But by the time I finished it, I was like,
there's no battling, bro.
Oof. It's not even just that there's no, it's not even that. I didn't even care about that.
That's what it is.
No, I didn't even care about that, genuinely. It was just like, there's no meat on the bone. That's what it is. That's what the problem is. There's no meat on the bone. I think that, especially in 2025, for a game to like be truly great, there needs to be
honestly,
meat on the bone.
Yeah. So how would you define that, the meat on the bone?
For Pokemon,
like
I think
the content.
Yeah. It's no,
I think it's not the multiplayer in ZA feels like meat on the bone. That's
I agree, but I don't know what it is long term. That's why I'm kind of like, we'll see. I'm hoping, because I think that if it is just a battle royale thing and that's all it is, I don't know.
It is ranked though. It's confirmed that it's ranked.
Okay, that's interesting.
So there's a leaderboard online, and there's, I guess, seasons.
Yeah,
I don't really know how that works.
Because like Let's Go, for example, that had online, right?
No.
I hear you. I hear you. I know that's different. I'm just saying.
That is online, just with your friends.
I'm just saying it needs to have a little bit. It needs to have more depth than what they're showing me right now. And you know, I want to see if there's like, can I do 1v1 battles? Is that the only way to play? You know, can I only do the battle royale thing?
Yeah.
Or can I do 1v1s? Can I do doubles? Can I do multis? Can I, if that's there, then cool. And even in saying that, that's not all I think is the depth in Pokemon either, playing this series right now. Something that I have come to realize is like, I think a lot of what is fun about Pokemon as it exists now is the stuff that's not playing Pokemon. Like me and Colton spent so much time just playing the mini games for the Pokemon and Me thing, like just bouncing the thing to get the to unlock the higher quality Poffins, and we did the Battle Chateau and the Battle Maison and stuff like that, and the things that are like the intellect, like the Pokemon contest and like all that stuff. That's part of it too, and it's to me, I think a bigger like fully fledged like Game of the Year worthy Pokemon game is like taking that stuff as well and making that something that is like a big. Not a big deal, but like it feels like it has substance. Again, it's like it's akin to playing tennis in Grand Theft Auto 5. Like that's just what it is. Like,
that's funny.
Like look at it. Like
scooter, riding a bike in GTA. Yeah.
Or racing in GTA, or like doing any of the other side things. They could fishing in Ocarina of Time. Yes, they could very well be their own games that people release. And people will pay money for it, and it might even sell millions of copies. But it's just this relatively small experience that just adds life to the world.
Yeah,
and I think that that's what, because Pokemon suggests that life. There's hints of that life. There's text and dialogue about that life, but you can't play it in the interactive medium, you know. I think that that's what's missing and like that's what would make a Legends game in quotes or whatever you want to call it, feel like as big of a deal as it should be.
Yeah.
I think that what a lot of people, what a lot of Pokemon fans especially do, like what their suggestions is like almost to shrink Pokemon, like for it to be smaller. But to me, I'm like, this is literally the biggest media property in the world.
For real.
The answer is not to shrink it; it's to make it bigger and better. That's just what it is. And like the response that a lot of people give is like, I don't think every game should play. And I'm like, no, I don't think every game needs to be bigger and better. But I think the biggest game should be bigger and better. like the one that is literally worth more than every other game should be more ambitious than every other game. It just should.
Yeah. No, dude, I love it. You've been screaming about that forever. And I think that is I think I always land on a bargaining phase of grief.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, nah,
I'm bargaining. I'm bargaining, like, but in my own way.
Yeah, you're like, listen, this is my line. Do not cross this.
Yeah.
You got to come to me. You got to compromise.
And I don't even think so here's the thing. Like to me, I think what a lot of people feel like is that they have a more pessimistic look on what Game Freak is capable of and what Pokemon and what Game Freak wants to do. I think Game Freak and Pokemon Company at large are capable of much, much more. And I think that that they want to do much, much more. But the fan base that is very loud on the internet infantilizes them, and that's all they do. And they they infantilize themselves by being like, "Yo, I want the game that I had as a kid, and I don't want it to change, and I don't want it to be different." And blah blah. So they're at this standstill. It's like, well, we want to be better, but we don't want to lose our fan base because that's like, financial suicide to be like 30 million, 40 plus. Like we're this multi-billion-dollar brand, and on some level we're built on the backs of like our community and stuff like that. And these are the people that are loudest at us on the internet. So like, do they want that? It takes a long time to come to, because like even the way that I feel, it took me a while to like come to the realization that I like to be as firm as I am on it now. Like you'll even see in the video that I sent you, and I mentioned this when I texted it to you. That is, I was even like, maybe if they do like an action game, they can make it like an option. That'd be cool, right? Like make it an option.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, no, don't make it an option. Commit. And it took me a long time to understand that that's what they need to do. And that's just in like watching the evolution of games as it's happened outside of the Pokemon world. Like things that have succeeded have done so because they commit. Mario is as successful as it is because it commits to being modernized every single time. No Mario game that is, 3D especially, like the main line, if we want to call it that, totally. Mario if Pokemon reinvents Mario every time.
Dude, if Pokemon wants to go another 30 years, right? If they want to make it to their 60th year anniversary, they need to actually focus on quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
put that clip in the beginning. That's a bar. That's nice. That's nice.
And I'll end it on, I just ultimately I think that Pokemon wants that. I think that they're capable of that. I just think that we just gotta wait for it to happen, and I think that it's only going to take long, and I think we're already past the waiting long phase as somebody that's been screaming about this for over a decade at this point. The only thing that's stopping us is fans, ironically. That's really what it is. But
we're buying it, dude. We're buying it every time.
Exactly, and I think they know that now. I think they understand, like, oh, well, the fans could be mad all they want, but they still bought it. Like,
of course,
I think
we're loud online, but yeah.
And I think people that are like not fans, but they're still cynical, like the way they think about it is they're like, oh, this is why Pokemon won't change because people buy every Pokemon game. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. You have to buy the Pokemon game. If you want Pokemon to be big, you got to buy it. You just have to, because then it's not worth the risk at that point if it's not big. the thing that made Pokemon and is making Pokemon very clearly, and you could see it in real time, want to grow in the way that they're growing, is Zelda. They're watching Zelda because
Pokemon
they're on the same exact trajectory as Zelda, and they have been for a long time. Where it's like,
what do those dinner parties look like with the
wow, Numa and Ishihara? But yeah, that's what, like,
their whiskey.
You could just see it in Sword and Shield. It's like Sword and Shield had that same Vista shot as Breath of the Wild. Scarlet and Violet had the same Vista shot. Legends Arceus had the same Vista shot. They all want to be Zelda, but they need to work towards that, because Zelda had to do it.
Doesn't it? Skyrim's the blueprint.
No, because Skyrim is Zelda. Skyrim Zelda.
What kind of take is this? That's kind of sick.
It just is.
I'll accept it. Yeah, explain it to me. What do you mean?
So in the same way, like, so Breath of the Wild, when you hear how they talk about Breath of the Wild, they say, and I believe this, that they wanted to make a modern day, essentially, original Legend of Zelda game. They said, if we made the same game with the same end goal and sensibilities and value proposition, what would that look like now, right? With the technology that we have now. That's what Skyrim is. It's like, it's open world Zelda, like adventure RPG situation. It's just like, what would Zelda be if they started from nothing in 2011?
Dude, I had no idea. That's so cool.
Yeah. So like, that's just what Breath of the Wild is, where it's like they have, like, in a sense, parallel evolution, where, like, absolutely developers looked at, like, that worked on Breath of the Wild, looked at ways that they handled things in Skyrim and solutions that they landed on for how to modernize something like the original Zelda. And they built off of that, but they came to a different conclusion because their source at the end of the day wasn't Skyrim, because that's how they got to the point that they were at with Ocarina of Time in the first place, and why they decided to make Breath of the Wild, because it's like, it just became a parody of itself. It's like every game was trying to be the last game. And that's when you have the problem. And that's where Pokemon's at. And that's why Pokemon, if you like give it to anybody that's been playing it or has played older versions and isn't actively playing it, even as a better example, they'll come to something like, even if their last Pokemon game was like Pokemon Crystal, and then they play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, or even if we want to try to be like, oh well, that game isn't technically sound,
they're gonna see a Dawn fan, they're gonna be like my childhood.
No, but so that's a separate thing. But like, even if you give them like X and Y and Sun and Moon and stuff like that, they're going to be like, this is literally the same game. It's the same game. Yeah. Like, there are advancements. It's 3D now. And like, there's quality of life. And
design.
And it runs a little smoother and stuff like that. But
you want people to be able to pick it up and for it to be familiar. And this is what I was saying earlier.
You want it to be familiar. You don't want it to be the same. Because Mario is familiar, but it's not the same. Like, Super Mario on the NES.
It's a new experience.
Is ultimately nothing like Mario Odyssey. But it is familiar.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what they want. That's what they should want also. Like, you want people to look at where you are now. You want to be able to literally post that meme of like where it started, where it is now. Like, Pokemon doesn't really have that, Like, it has that in a way that you can kind of cheese it and be like, look at the open world. But if you put like where it started and you do an actual, like, what the gameplay is, which is the battles, and you say where it started and you show Charmander versus Bulbasaur on the screen in a battle sequence, and then you show Charmander versus Bulbasaur in a battle sequence in Scarlet and Violet, it's the same picture. It's the same game, and it shouldn't be. But yeah, that's the thoughts I have. You have any closing thoughts?
No, dude, I'm still wrapping my. I haven't even talked to this is my second podcast or stream or whatever, talking about this new information without my co-hosts. Who I normally break stuff down with, so I'm gonna be recording with them tomorrow. Nice. And it'll be good to hear what they have. I like this is good. I'm like outside of my comfort zone, breaking this all down. This has been a good conversation, AJ.
Yeah, it always is, man.
Yeah. I really think I think I'm just like I still want to know more about Champions, and I just can't wait to play ZA, man.
Same.
It's gonna be. I just want to get my hands on the system, and then it's just a whirlwind, man. We got in February they're gonna announce Generation 10.
Yep,
it's crazy.
I'm looking forward to it.
Bro, next time I come on, let's talk about Shadow Lugia and XD Gale of Darkness.
Oh yeah, you know
out.
what? Yeah. That's what. Now I'll have you back on when we finally get XD and Coliseum or whatever.
Because I want to play that again. I want to play those.
All right. I have hot takes for that too.
I've actually never beat. I played Coliseum to death. I have never finished XD Gale of Darkness.
I played both of them and I don't like them. But anybody, like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out Dusty. Check out Hidden Power Podcast, everybody.
Hidden Power Podcast. Every Thursday we got new episodes. It's all about Pokemon. If you like this discussion, we got episodes with AJ on the podcast. But also, come on, I'm trying to revive my own channel. I'm about
to start hijacking your chat like Jake does. I'm about to just start coming in the voice chat because I'll like come in there. I'm like, I don't want to like. I go in when if you tell me like, yo, come through. I usually come through. Do I not?
Yeah.
But I don't want to invite
Jake's
myself.
Rude with it.
I don't want to invite myself.
Jake literally.
But I'm about to start
to. I can't believe you guys are saying this right now. I needed to come in and correct all of you.
Yeah, I need to do that. I'm gonna start doing that.
So you'll be yapping about marketing, and he's like, actually, that's not how games media works.
I too have a degree. So everybody subscribe to Dusty Stuff, and you'll see me on his channel too. Goodbye, recording. Bye.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.